call to order the people that are here. Thank you for joining. Seems like it's been forever since I have seen your faces.
Yep.
Huh?
It does seem that way.
It does seem that way. Look how long my hair grew since you last saw me.
I know it.
I like it.
I need some whatever you're taking to make it grow that fast. Ian too.
Yeah. Oh,
First up is the marijuana licensing and application process.
So I can tackle items A and B by saying that they're on tomorrow night's Planning Commission agenda. And so we're going to discuss both the marijuana process and start similar to what we did with City Council, get some feedback from planning commissioners if they have anything that jumps out at them off the paper or jumps off paper at them as far as things that we should be on the lookout for. Jill and I have been talking about possible things to put in the ordinance. And so once we get that feedback, then we'll move to the next step, which is actually having a document that you can review and start to provide feedback on. Still getting inundated with calls from various proprietors trying to help. So that hasn't changed. And then the sign ordinances, yeah, I can imagine, same guy probably. The sign ordinance is also on the Planning Commission agenda for tomorrow night. We did, we did include the couple maintenance type things, but the big areas are the expressive signs and then the lighting issues that were brought up. So those two are in the Planning Commission packet. So I'm not sure if you've seen that or not, but Bruce probably has, but we could share it with you if you haven't. You could see what we've got proposed for both.
Well, it looks like we're going to be flying through this agenda kind of fast. If you knocked out A and B.
Why did you say that? Even Cheryl knows. Cheryl's like, you never say that.
I know it gets all. I know. I'm sorry. I jinxed you all. Sorry.
Knocking on wood.
Okay, so tomorrow, did you already send out the link for the Planning Commission? Because maybe I'll jump in just to hear that.
Yes. I already sent the link out. I can send it. I can send you the packet too. It's online too.
Yeah, I was gonna say I can just go online and get it.
It's gonna be a little bit later probably because we've got 3 site plan reviews first. So that could take a little bit of time, but
yeah.
Then bring snacks to that meeting.
The cool thing is I can jump in and jump out of that one, so I don't have to really worry about it. All right. So.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well then, anybody have any questions about A or B?
Nope.
Concerns? Sweet. Let's go to our favorite topic. One of our favorites, I should say, the House in the Woods RFP update.
Yes, the RFP was posted both on our website and on the state's MITN system, and we did not receive any responses, which was a little surprising since 2 of the local realtors were actually on site the day they were due. So I thought that might have been them dropping them off, but they did not.
So here's my question, because I noticed that at the bottom you have in there still the people that are interested in the property.
Right.
Is it possible, and hopefully I can say this right, to move forward with them and just select like a realtor to do the process for us? Does that make sense?
Well, I think the reason why we wanted to get a realtor involved was because, you know, we got the $40,000 offer, but the question, the big question is that a legitimate? It's not the right word. Is that a fair market value offer? And none of us can really say that.
That's my point. That's what I'm saying. Can we just go ahead and select a realtor or ask someone if they can help us with that? So that nobody's biting. No one's biting for the RFP. Can we just kind of be like, I know that you are in commercial business, or you've done not commercial, residential, and can you just help us out? Or is that not something we can do because we have an RFP out?
Well,
right. That's what I was gonna say. Is can we just pick one?
Yeah.
Well, the RFP is already closed, correct?
Right. So I guess if that's your ultimate aim, couldn't we just pay for an appraisal?
Yeah, that's
what I
what I
was
was.
gonna say.
Listed a couple
But
of.
it was more than just the appraisal. I thought we didn't also want to be in the real estate business of actually going through the whole transaction of it. This computer, really?
Well,
Then-
I've seen a couple of approaches, and one was going through the realtor, and the other one is just simply to post the property for sale and see if you receive any offers, official offers.
Oh, we lost her.
Oh, she's
two.
back. She's
She back? She's
got
frozen.
She's now Cornell too.
Hey, and she's on mute.
No, I don't know.
I was gonna say that may be a good idea, Cheryl. Just put it up for sale and start. What we can do to protect ourselves is just say the minimum bid is $40,000. The minimum offer is $40,000.
So I guess is the direction to start there, or to start with getting an independent appraisal first, or you just want to go with the 40,000 base price?
Can you all hear me?
Now we can.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Let me try to change this because I don't know how to change the name on the iPad. I don't know why.
It's the three dots up. Press the participant key, like where you can see all the participants, and it should tell you.
Got it.
So
it's something about our meetings in my laptop. It does not like our meetings at all. It always breaks down. Always.
It seems to require a lot of bandwidth. So I don't know what the capacity is for your laptop.
Huh. Go figure. Well,
yeah.
I'm here and I'm not going to switch.
I would say you probably do an appraisal first, and then if the appraisal comes back and 35,000, we could just I'm just making numbers up. We'll say minimum offer 40,000 or something, starting offer 40,000, something like that. If it comes back 60, we say the minimum is 60.
Okay.
So I hope that I heard it right, is that we're going to do the appraisal first, and then we'll worry about getting a real estate agent to take it from there.
And we're talking that entire parcel, that whole keyhole, not just the outer ring.
I thought it was
the whole thing.
It's not the little. It's just the inside. It's not that little piece of land, the butterfly garden, right?
Right.
So we're going to institute the butterfly garden again.
Yeah, I think we're talking the whole keyhole, Cheryl.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so while because I had my notes, I didn't print them up. What's the next thing that's on there?
Code inspection and property maintenance.
No, Ian, we can't hear you. If you were asking, we can't hear you still. Something's not up. Something's up. Yeah. So when it comes to code enforcement, what did you find out? Is there like a plan B or someone that was like a runner-up to Rami? I think that's what Bruce asked before.
Right. Not really. We did the due diligence on the top two candidates, and Rami was clearly the preferred candidate.
Mm.
So I would have to go further down the list. There were a couple of people who I would like to see if they are now available. At that time, they either didn't respond or their life circumstances had changed.
Okay.
So I'd rather start there than starting the whole process over if feasible.
Okay. So then at this time, it'll be really important if you have any issues that's in the neighborhoods, whatever, to do see, click, fix, because all Cheryl is doing, which I found out, is she gets our complaints and then she's putting it in see, click, fix. And so just the fact of trying to take some more stuff off her plate, if we can just go through there, and that way we can also make sure that we have, that'll be a running record of what we see. I mean, of what not a running record of what we see, but we'll know what's going on, seeing that there are some things in there that need to be moved along that I saw. And I finally went in there, but
And
Yeah, can we like maybe set a potential time frame for a hire, like maybe 6 weeks or something like that? Because I think we've, one of the great things about getting Rami in here was that, we were actually starting to see a lot of progress, especially on Southfield Road. And I don't want to, put a damper in that momentum. So I was hoping that maybe we could maybe shoot, pick a number of weeks that seems reasonable and try to shoot for that to, get somebody back in here and pick up where he left off.
can definitely try. Can definitely try. Part of the challenge is getting someone with that level of energy who wants to work part-time. Because
Right.
you need to get someone who's either transitioning or retired and they're not necessarily as high energy.
Do we have any retired officers from Lathrup that we know of that might be interested in something like this?
I haven't asked. I can.
What are the
I know
qualifications?
when I was doing my research, a couple of years back on this, a lot of the communities that I talked to used retired officers,
Mm-hmm.
who weren't really looking for a full-time job, but had the experience and knew how to deal with people and so forth. So that might be an avenue.
Our most recent retirees, I don't think would be interested.
That's why I was very careful on how I asked that. But yeah, is there anything going on with that, Scott? Just to jump off agenda for a second.
Going on with what?
Surely
you're not going to talk about what I think you're talking about.
I think there's, they have a case evaluation summary exchange date coming up next month. I think that's and then they, somebody got some interrogatories that they have to answer.
So it's still moving along.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'll just leave it at that. Oh, yeah.
And then in the packet, I included updates on a number of properties in the community that have been high profile, I guess I'll call it.
Yeah, I saw it. You mean like with the wall in the car and things
Right.
like that? Yeah, I saw that.
So,
Anybody have any questions on those?
Yeah, well, I was going to bring up JMC after reading the full 174-page report.
You read it word for word?
I read it all. A lot of it was pictures. In fact, I was telling Susie this morning, the problem was I sent it off to the printer and I walked into the other room for 10 minutes and I came back not knowing that it was a 174-page document. I thought it was an executive summary and I had no toner left. It used my entire toner cartridge.
Oh my gosh.
But anyhow, like I said, I had a conversation with Susie this morning when I was getting my planning commission packet, and it sounds like there's a meeting on Thursday. But from reading that and looking at all the pictures and the findings, I find it very, very difficult to believe that those buildings can remain open in their current state.
So, and that was my question of when do we have to make, well, the meeting that's on Thursday, I guess, if you could kind of enlighten us all about what meeting is on Thursday.
We had, I had told them that we wanted to set up a meeting with them following, they have the report.
Them being JMC?
Yes, sorry.
Okay.
JMC was provided with the report. And we had talked previously when we were, I want to say like end of February, March, like coming up with the next, the process forward and what were going to be our next steps. We had discussed that we would give them the report and then we would come back together with them, like staff, come back together with them and come up with a more detailed timeline once we knew exactly the extent of the problems and, how were we going to go about fixing it? Well, I mean, I was expecting it not to be a good report. I wasn't quite expecting it to be like that. So this is our next meeting to come together and say, hey, what's the next step? it's gonna be, it's not gonna be what you want. So right now, that is myself, Jim, Scott, Cheryl, Kelda, Jill, Bame, and the owner and his COO, I guess.
So as I don't know if you all saw it, but something that I sent an email just saying, is there like a time limit, of when do we have to make a decision or not make a decision, when do we have to determine these buildings have to be closed, or what our course of action has to be?
Or what's the process, Scott?
Right. Thank you.
So the process, and this is, we're going to rely entirely upon the International Property Maintenance Code. And so Jim Wright, as the building official, will be the individual that issues an order closing those buildings. They then have the right to appeal to Property Maintenance Board, which we don't currently have in existence. So we had talked about, and we met last Friday, the same individuals minus the JMC people, but we talked about potentially utilizing Southfield if they have a board, or perhaps another local community that might have one. So, which Jim indicated is not an uncommon practice, given that these are pretty infrequent, these boards, and so for most communities don't have a standing board for this. So, and it's not something that the council could do because it's based on experience in the field. So I don't know that we have that resource level on our council. So that's kind of the steps of procedurally what will happen. What we had talked about was, in addition, they also have they're the ones up tomorrow for their site plan reviews in front of Planning Commission. So there's a lot of kind of irons in the fire right now. We talked about not issuing any permits until we have this meeting and can come up with a timeline. Jim also indicated that most of those businesses aren't even open right now. They're not seeing customers. So, now would be the time and we can come up with, if there's things that they can do to rectify some of these more substantial life safety issues to allow them to open the building, we can agree on a timeline for that. But we need to come to a mutual understanding of what our expectations as a city are, and what their expectations as a property owner are. If it doesn't work out, which I kind of have a feeling that we're going to end up back in court on this anyways, they sent a significant FOIA request over this afternoon or last week. I think probably after Susie sent them the report. But so I anticipate that they're probably gearing up and getting information so that they can go on the defensive if we do issue these orders.
Okay.
So how are we going to approach tomorrow's meeting? With the Planning Commission for this given all these issues. I mean, does it? I guess Susie, Scott, does it make sense to review them, knowing that there's 174 pages of issues?
I think it's definitely something worth bringing up. I'm not sure if the Planning Commission has reviewed that report or not, if that's part of.
No, they did not receive that.
I mean, I think it's important to note that there are significant and substantial repairs needed at these facilities that, I mean, I guess they can go forward with the site plan approval request if they want, but the understanding, again, has to be that those issues are addressed and corrected as part of that process. So I don't know if that, I'm not confident that site plan, what they've presented, is going to be able to accomplish that. And I think that's something that they may have to look at. We might just have to cut bait at this point on these properties, and they're not worth putting more money into them. But again, that's something that That's a call that they're going to have to make. That's not something we can tell them.
I mean, it's possible, I've thought too, because the planning, you know, the plan review letter does call out that, you know, I mean, they're gonna have, if they want to keep using the alleyways for any amount of parking, they're gonna have to come back before council, you know, to get their, that easement, that approval. There's also at least 2 or 3 different variances that that they may have to try and obtain. One of them being for the the north property doesn't have any parking associated with it that is within their own property. You know, everything's in the right of way. So, I mean, there's going to have to be variances that they try and obtain. So, yeah, there's a lot of irons in the fire is kind of an understatement at this point. But I mean, so the planning commission could just say they want to, you know, to defer action, but they would have to, JMC would have to be the ones to pull their submittal for review for tomorrow.
Okay. Any other questions? Go ahead, Bruce.
Yeah, with respect to code, because it was code, and I don't know, again, if we can talk about this or not, because I think that was what we talked about during our closed session, but is there any update that you can give us with respect to the fine art building and jewelry?
No, I reached out to him after that discussion, and I have not gotten any response back. I advised that the website had to come down, and I have not heard. So I'll follow up with them again.
Anyone check to see if the website did come down?
No, I did
Last
not.
time I checked, it had not, but that was several weeks ago.
I haven't checked at all.
I can check while we're talking.
You guys can hear me well,
The
okay?
Property maintenance appeal board, I did
Yes.
reach out to the city of Southfield, so they were having an individual contact me. I haven't connected with them yet, but did you want to attempt to appoint your own board? In which case I could, you know, post, but I think there's a skill set that's associated with being a member of
That's
that.
what I was going to ask. I thought you said it had to have a certain skill set with it. And, you know, I would probably just look at another community to see if they would be willing to take it on, opposed to us trying to get more volunteers for a committee.
Like maybe Southfield or Berkeley might be candidate.
Scott, do you know if there's like a distance from
Even
like a distance
Beverly Hills.
radius? You know, like we could use.
I don't believe there. Actually, I don't have the code on this computer. But I don't think there's actually a distance requirement. It just has to be. I mean, we couldn't use it. I mean, I guess we could use from a different state or something. I mean, it's the International Property Maintenance Code is a universal code.
True. Okay.
So it would be applicable, and that's generally where their knowledge is coming from, or their background is in that area. So, I mean, I think a regional body would be appropriate. Probably wouldn't be the best if we, you know, pick someone from the UP that had one. But
I was just thinking more or less Southfield, Berkeley, Beverly Hills, you know, kind of thing. That's just
Farmington, somebody like that is gonna. I think is probably gonna have one that has. That utilizes this process more.
I'll talk to Farmington Hills.
Thank you.
City of Detroit probably has one.
Oh, sorry, Scott, go ahead.
I said City of Detroit probably has one.
I think they're busy.
Maybe not the repeal board. You never know.
Yeah, I just checked. The website is still up.
Okay, I'll follow up with it.
Thank you. The sidewalk program, Ian, we'll get back with you at the part of the comments at the end, unless it's part of the sidewalk program.
No.
Okay.
Okay, there isn't a specific update. I've been in communications with the engineer, Scott Ringler, And in fact, talked with him today. There's an extensive process relative to just getting the assessment set up. So what we're looking to do most likely, and it's now too late to do it for the assessment this year, but if we can start with the program early next year, and then allowing for those who want to make the payments themselves or over a short period of time, and then have the assessments fall into place for December of next year. So I'm working with him on getting that generated. And he was going to share with me the actual step-by-step process that's in place in Ferndale to help with the learning curve in terms of the specific steps in that process. So most likely we will start with a combined commercial corridor and one sector of the city for that first year.
Yeah, you took the question right out of my mouth.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions or concerns with that?
No, just you know, like you said, if we could work on it in the winter and be ready for the spring, I think that would be good. And then people would have all spring and all summer or whatever deadline we give them to, you know, to do it.
I did have one question that I wanted to run past you and to get your feel in regards to it. And that was a resident who was going ahead with having the sidewalk repaired in front of their property. And they wanted to know if it was permissible to have the permit fee waived if they were taking the initiative themselves.
Opposed to waiting for the actual program.
Process.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess, you know, I don't know that I personally would have a problem with that, but I mean, they would still have to undergo inspection and everything like that, right? You just wouldn't charge them the permit fee. Yeah, I mean, if that's an incentive to, you know, get people to do it, you know, I mean, it's not that much money, is it?
No, I think it was 50 or less, somewhere in that ballpark. And I didn't know if anyone had a recollection in previous programs, if that was a part of the cost that was covered in the extended payment plan that was made available, or was that kind of waived because it was a city project?
I think if you had the city contractor do it, the permit, there was no permit fee, but I don't know what happened if individuals decided to do it on their own, which they would have the right to do.
Okay, so I'll draft something and work with Scott on language if he thinks it's appropriate.
Yeah, I think my recollection is if you use the city contractor, then the permit was waived. If you used your own or did it yourself, you had to get the permit.
Okay,
that's
pay
right.
for the permit, but it's not that expensive of a permit. I think it's like Cheryl said, I think it's like $45 or $50 now, if even that much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you know, the thought is, you know, like I said, I'm just thinking through it as we're sitting here, you know, and you know, and again, this is just my opinion. I mean, I guess it probably makes sense could make sense to waive it to incite people to do it and make it less effort for the city contractor. On the other hand, you know, we don't know what you know, what our revenue picture is going to look like from the state yet, and if, you know, if it's as bad as we think it might be, then, you know, we may want to consider not waiving it because we're going to need every cent we can get. So, I mean, I guess we don't have to decide now. We'll know what the revenue picture looks like, I assume, and sometime in the next few months, right?
Well, we received the initial projections just basically today. So it's just slightly less than what we had budgeted for. We're hopeful that we're going to get some COVID reimbursement dollars that could be substantial if it goes through the way we're hoping. So we're not in a horrendous, we're hoping not to be in the worst case than we budgeted for at the present time. So.
Okay, well, that's good news.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Anything else?
Not on this, no.
About the Environment, Great Lakes and Energy Department?
You haven't lived until you've sat through a couple of meetings with the now Eagle Department and their dedicated staff. So,
Those must have been fun.
oh, you have no idea. So they did their assessment, which they do periodically, and we have a new person, so they wanted to be on site and to do a very thorough baseline reassessment of our operations and facilities. So there are some opportunities for improvement, especially in the area of our record keeping, which has pretty much been non-existent. So getting that in place, we're working with Hubble, Roth, and Clark to make certain that we have those mechanisms in place, and then we have a periodic review of all the things that they've highlighted. And one of the things that we have to make certain that we do in regards to that is because Tim is indicating he's retiring at the end of the year. So we want to make certain that they're in place now so that we can transition with whoever assumes that leadership role, and that there's continuity of information and knowledge as well as processes. So we're on track to do that. We're scheduled to meet with HRC later this week in regards to the response, and that'll have the outline of how we're going to address all the issues that they identified.
They're also going to give you a timeline on when they have to be repaired or replaced or whatever is needed.
It's not so much the fixing, it's just the process of assessing more than anything. There's a couple things that they need to do, like sampling.
Okay.
Those in place, and they're going to actually physically work with the DPS crew to show them how to do it, how to fill out the paperwork, and then how to maintain the records so that we don't run into this in the future.
It seemed like there was one area though that I thought was would actually cost us a little bit, because which one? I'm just trying to see if I can find it. One, I think there were like 500 catch basins that needed to be inspected.
Right, that's probably
more.
What's that?
I think there's I said we have inspected 5 catch basins. There's significantly more in the city that they're asking be routinely inspected.
Right. So
I said 500.
Oh, we heard 5.
Yeah. No, I thought in there they said that we had 500 catch basins that needed to be inspected, and I got to imagine that's more along the lines of a project that we're going to have to hire out, or can DPS handle that?
Well, we're hoping that DPS will be able to handle it, but we'll have it on a so many per year schedule, identifying the priority areas, and we'll even work with Scott Bingler in assisting and helping identify the priority areas and corridors. And I think part of our response will indicate that if they check 5 in one line, then perhaps that we can declare that all of them are in that same condition without actually physically inspecting each and every one of them. So we're working on that response. But yeah, that could be the one that's most problematic in trying to address.
Okay. I'm trying to get through this. Is that is that the end of my packet?
Yes.
It was. Okay, Ian, you had a question about Rami.
Yeah.
You're going now.
Okay. So Cheryl, you're going to be going down the list to see who is the next potential candidate, right?
I will be contacting past applicants.
Okay. So if that doesn't work out, I was hearing you guys discuss it, but not totally because my audio was bad. Did someone mention residents that may be interested in the position?
No.
Past police officers.
Past police officers. Okay, yeah. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear that. And what was the discussion on that?
That I will inquire if we can identify if any of them might have an interest.
Okay.
Either in our force or other forces.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay. Just one more question. So he's accepted the new position?
Yes.
And his last week is this week?
He's already gone.
Oh, he's gone, because I saw him last week, so okay. All right. Where did he go, by the way?
City of Pontiac.
Okay. All right. And we couldn't counter at all?
Pontiac is full-time.
Ah, okay. Gotcha. All right. I thought that was I thought we had lofty goals to eventually get a full-time to mitigate costs on our current code enforcer.
No, that was the part-time was still gonna, you know, we went part-time. That was gonna cost us, I think about the same, maybe a little bit. No, I think it actually came in less than what we were paying Jim a little bit, but we would A, have control, and B, 3 times as much code enforcement, but we didn't talk about full-time. We approved the part-time position.
Okay. All right. Thanks. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. So any other council? Well, I should just ask Bruce, do you have anything?
Nope.
No, well, I'll take up Bruce's spot. I have a question for Susie.
None of them are important, so
I'll take up Bruce's spot. I got a question for Susie.
Okay.
Have you heard of Trade First?
Trade First?
Yes.
I don't think so. What are they? What is it?
It is okay, the easiest way I could describe it, it's almost like Time Bank, but it's between businesses, and a lot of businesses in Birmingham are using it. So basically, you pay a fee, and I'm looking at the website, so it's a lot of details in here. It's www.tradefirst.com. So you pay a fee, and then if you're in this network, you can go anywhere, such as a restaurant or a retail store, and you either don't pay or you pay at a discount. So what's happening is this Trade First, apparently it depends on how big the network is. And there are also companies or businesses in Detroit that are using it. So it's kind of a way to attract new patrons to their business. And so I know several Birmingham company or businesses, they're using it, and they say it's great, and the fee isn't ridiculous, and you kind of expand your network, because once you're in it and someone goes to your business, they'll either rate it or say, hey, this guy's in the network or this girl's in the network, go check it out. And that's kind of how it works. So if you want to look at it, or if you want someone to call you to tell you how great it is, I would be more than happy to have them call you, because I just found out about it on Saturday. So I figured it may help us a little bit, may help our business base.
Sure. Is it, so it's like a membership, like a, let's see, like a discount membership kind of program?
It's almost like a barter system, where if you go to this business that's in the network, it depends on what you order. You just basically pay the tax. If you buy something, you basically, if you're going to get something, you have to just pay the tax, right?
Right.
So you might want to check out the website. It's really interesting.
Tradefirst.com.
Yes,
right?
Tradefirst.com.
Is it first spelled out, or is it the abbreviation?
Oh, spelled out.
Okay.
Tradefirst.com.
I'll have Corey look into it.
So according to this, it says improve cash flow, increase sales and profitability, reduce old and excessive. Well, they're just talking about other things in here, but yeah, I mean, check it out, and I'll have someone call you if you need more details.
I will have Corey look into that and see, and then we'll have her. We'll have her do the sales calls.
Yep, no problem.
Cool. Thank you, though.
Yeah, no problem.
Anything else?
Nope.
Did we get notification that the other council members weren't coming?
Oh.
Yes, Celine contacted me.
We have another council member, right?
I have not been. I have not been aware.
Okay.
So just to talk about this past weekend, the yoga in the park really attracted a lot of people, more than what I would have thought. So that was fun. I think this is going to be our last food distribution. I mean, though I know that it is a need for, there's people in our neighborhood that are benefiting from it. It is just so tiring for a certain person. It just wears me out. But if we can figure out, like I was telling you, Susie, we can figure out how to hand it off to the DDA or another group, I'm more than happy to do that, because the actual company is trying to get us on a schedule to do it every other weekend, and I cannot commit to doing that.
We the DDA's got their board meeting on Friday, so we can talk about it again. Okay. I know there was definitely an interest in taking it over, and then, well, my own stuff hit the fan and like prevented me from taking that ball farther. So, let's talk about it again on Friday. I'll put it on the actual agenda as something to discuss.
That sounds.
Don't forget to send me the link for the Zoom for that meeting, please.
Got it. Thank you for the reminder.
And then we have coming up. Susie, you want to talk about what we have coming up in the next couple of weeks?
Oh yeah, we got our biggie thing is we're having a second fall cleanup on Saturday the 26th of September from 9 to 11 again. We have officially adopted, the DDA has officially adopted the Southfield corridor from the road commission, the Lions. They rescinded their adoption, so we are now the proud adopters, I guess, of Southfield Road. So this is going to be our second cleanup. And my goal is actually to expand this whole cleanup program to get our own cleanup crew, like an established cleanup crew that we can rely on, and do this at least 2 to 3 times a year. So that's our biggie. I sent out a link to the registration last Friday, so we've got that going on. So if you'd like to register, please sign up. I'll send it out again.
And if someone doesn't sign up, can they just still come and help?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Well, last in this, well, I say spring, but it was beginning of June. We had several people just show up, and we'll be assigning sections for people to take care of. So we're going to meet at the gazebo again, so we can do that. We've also reached out to MDOT to see about what can be done about the service drive. I know we've got one resident in particular who routinely brings up how just terrible
it is.
Yeah, it's just terrible. And I want to do something about it. I even asked him if there was something that maybe DPW could help with. My hesitation is that I don't feel it's really safe for volunteers to be on there. There's not a lot of space for people to jump out of the way if they need to. And I think
and you're talking about because the one part that I see is on the service drive. It's going to be south of 696. South of 696, and then west of Southfield.
Yeah,
I know, but people were complaining about trees, but those, from what I'm seeing, are not city trees. Like, it looks like somebody's tree blew over in their yard and is leaning over, and then it's shedding on the service drive.
I put in some C-click fixes from those trees.
Okay.
I think they're city trees, the Chase Bank, because you literally have to bend over to your knees to get underneath some of them when you're walking on the sidewalk.
I'm talking on the other side of 696.
The east side?
I'm talking on the, that's going to be west of Southfield, so behind the cleaners on that side.
Okay. Other side, yeah.
Yep.
Outside.
Yeah, this other resident was also talking about just, tires and debris and other larger items that we can't, we couldn't handle those without a big truck anyways. So yeah, there's a lot that needs to be done. So we'll stay tuned to see what MDOT says.
Okay.
But so we've got that going on, and we are working on trying to come up with some programming for Shop Small Saturday in November, and really expanding that. And considering, we're looking into doing things like maybe a winter market, to see if that would be, since the Artisan Fair, even though it went really well last year, can't really have it inside. So we're looking at our options for that.
The Shop Small Saturday was really successful last year. Extreme.
Yeah.
So we want to do business, like the business bingo was really awesome. So this year we're trying to think of, how can we expand that to be at least a month long? Maybe we do theme weeks, leading up to it. And we're also working on a new kind of Love and Lathrup marketing campaign to kind of build off the grants that we have going on, which, by the way, we have a second round of grant funding that is open and accepting applicants until September 22nd. So we had 10 applicants for our first round, and we awarded 7 out of those 10. So $2,000 a piece. So it's going well. We've already got 3 new applicants. So if you know of anyone that would be interested, send them my way.
Just a quick question on the corridor cleanup.
Yep.
The last one we did, I think we needed more extra large gloves. So
you don't want those tiny little gloves that fit my hand? Come on. All right.
So,
I'll get you some bigger gloves, Ian.
So it wasn't just me also. We had some manly men, like Michael Griffith is like 6'3", and I think he was struggling.
Let the small girl shop for stuff, right? We'll be better about getting waters out there too.
Right. Yeah. And, just, I guess, gearing up leading into that date. Do you have like a targeted goal, like you did the last time, as far as what are we going to focus on, how to strategically tackle it or anything like that?
Corey and I were out today looking at, coming up with our available properties list, which, by the way, we don't really actually have that many properties.
Available?
Correct.
Yeah.
So she's got to do a little bit more digging into some of those office spaces to see exactly how many spaces are within those buildings, but
Yeah.
I'm pretty happy with our list.
Good.
12 Mile west of Southfield Road looks a little rough in parts. I think we'll probably need to focus again on the south end.
Yeah.
That usually needs the most love. Although I did hear after the cleanup in June, a desire to start north and then move south, but
Yeah. Well, we're always starting north and then moving south anyway.
Right. I think we need to start at Lincoln and move our way up.
Yep.
So,
Right.
but my goal is for number of people. I mean, we had over 24 in June. So
yeah,
definitely want to get at least that many this year or this time around. And yeah.
Yeah. What's the plan? If you have bad weather or rain or whatever?
Rain
You need
date
to be out there.
Yeah, right.
Wear a raincoat. October 3rd is going to be our rain date.
Okay.
So
I thought I'd ask that.
But we're going to have good weather. It's going to be good weather.
Okay.
So
no problem.
we won't need a rain date.
Okay, no problem. I guess the last question I have is for Bruce. So your final fundraiser, final day of fundraising MS is today or tomorrow?
That has nothing to do with council.
Oh, okay. I received an email. I thought, I don't know.
No. It's going on for a little bit, but that's nothing to do with council.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Well, all right.
All right.
Yeah,
we're good.
actually,
I just wanted you guys to know, Ian, you said that there is another council person. I've been on, but for some reason I was just let in, but I've heard the discussions on the the home in the woods, the code enforcement, etc. So yes, there is another council person. I've been on, I was just let in. So just wanted to let you guys know that.
What's your name again?
Same one that I had 5 years ago.
And I apologize. I saw the DSM International and I didn't realize that was. You.
Oh, okay. I don't know why that happened, but thank you
Okay.
for letting me in.
Hey, next time, just text the city manager. We all have her phone number.
I did. That's how I got in.
Oh.
I was waiting to get in. I'm good. I know what to do next time. So I thank you, but just wanted you guys to know that. Okay?
Hey, you can text Bruce. He's the pro tem. He'll take your text.
You probably would take it if I text you, wouldn't you?
I don't know if you still have my number.
I do. All right. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, the one thing I just did think of, just one second, we scheduled for, you probably saw it in a lot of the communications, we scheduled 4 town halls coming up. The first one I think is at the very end of this month on the road and infrastructure, so just to get the information out there. We did put you probably saw today, if you got your mail, the water bills have a little blurb on there directing people to the Fix LV Roads website.
Mine doesn't have it.
Really?
Yep.
On the lower left-hand corner?
Yes.
Huh. Yeah, mine had it, but yeah, and so we're just trying to get the word out there. So just a quick update on that.
When did that go out?
I think they went to the mail
water
last week, like Friday.
Fix LV Road. I mean, when did you add that? I mean, is it on there? I don't recall seeing that.
Is what on there?
Fix LV roads on the water bill, so it must be on some of them.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
Well, it's probably on some of them, and
Check
others.
the lower left-hand corner in that message area.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's probably on some other ones. Mine has another message on there, so that's probably why it's not showing up.
Oh.
Yeah, and then we also have a postcard like we did last time. We just modified it to update the information, and that'll go out around the same time as the absentee ballots, since there'll be a larger absentee ballot, a larger number of absentee ballots this year. We wanted to get it out early, so.
I do have a question. Before we end, and I'm sorry, Bruce, are you all set?
I'm set.
Okay. Yvette, I did get a text asking, do we have enough volunteers for the election? Make sure I said it right.
Okay, thank you. Lathrup Village has been very willing to assist in the upcoming election process, and I have a large number of people who I have contacted, and they've contacted me. So we're in good shape, but what I am asking is for all of those who still want to participate, the surrounding communities, they really need election inspectors to assist them. So if I have not sent you a letter to be an election inspector for the city of Lathrup Village, then by all means reach out to our surrounding communities. They would really, really love your help.
Okay. I wasn't aware we can do that. Okay. Thanks for the info.
Mm-hmm.
You can do it anywhere. The only thing that I will also warn people of, because it is needed, is that you are there all day. So there are no shifts. You start at, what is it, Yvette, at 7 a.m. and you're done at 8 p.m.
Yes,
if longer.
Well,
you gotta be there earlier though.
We think workers here come at 6 a.m. But I do, and I think other cities may do something a little differently, Mayor. I will have split shifts if people desire. So yeah, because everyone is not a morning person.
Right.
So I take that into consideration. You're not,
Bruce.
Are you ready?
Then I might be willing to help another city then.
Then I modify for that as well, because I like to have fresh eyes in the evening, afternoon and evenings as well. So most
so I thought if they were on the absentee counting boards, that they are sequestered all day. So that's something different.
Yeah, no, for absentee, you are there. Once you're in there, you're in there. You're
Okay.
locked in. For the,
Okay.
and they usually start around 7 a.m. for the larger elections, and they
Okay.
work until, and I hate to put a cutoff time on for this upcoming election. Even though the polls close at 8 p.m., I want everybody to know that we just can't drop everything and leave. There's still
Right.
work that has to be done, lots of paperwork. We have to modem the results over. Everyone has to sign everything. It's a lot still to do.
Right.
Okay. So Yvette, just a quick question.
Yeah.
And just based on the last election, what does your team need? You know, like obviously you're gonna have the split shift. Would you need anything? Like I know they all have coffee and food and all that, but are there any deficiencies that we can kind of address now, or are you totally covered?
Oh, we're in good shape. I have PPE. We have all the PPE that we
Okay.
need. So that was our main thing. That was my main goal, for everyone to be protected and feel
Okay.
safe. So we're in good shape with that.
Okay.
I have a whole nother packet of masks that I had from the cleanup that I can probably get you to.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
Okay. Hand sanitizer and all that. You guys are good.
Yes.
Okay.
Gloves, masks. Yes.
Okay. One last question to Bruce. So Bruce,
You say that.
I'm sorry, because you brought up you brought up the infrastructure committee. So obviously that's going to be on the ballot. I don't know if we can discuss it here, maybe at another, before the election. But is there any discussion on a plan D if we go past this election and it's not favorable?
Not thinking that far ahead. Let's see what happens with this one first.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, that works. You need any
Hey, guys.
support from council? I'm sorry, Kelly. I just want to, because I'm not going to talk to Bruce for a week because I got a crazy schedule this week.
Oh,
but
sorry. Go ahead.
all right, do you need any support from council or no?
No, I mean, we can't, as you know, we can't advocate one way or the other.
Yes,
so
I know.
the only thing we can do is provide information, and that's what the town halls are designated for. That's what Fix LV Roads is scheduled for, and, just get the information out there and see what happens.
Okay, all right, appreciate it.
Madam Mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
if I could add
Yes.
a couple more things. I've received a lot of calls and emails, people asking about the ballots. I do not have the ballots. I do not have those. I am expecting to receive those by the 24th, 25th, maybe by then, and I will start processing them probably the last week of September, first week of October. I will start to mail those out. So if you voted absentee in August and you sent me an application, you will automatically receive an absentee ballot for November, unless, because I had some people who said they wanted it for August only. So for those who have indicated that on their application, then I will not send you a ballot, but you can request one if you change your mind. Because with COVID-19, people were saying, well, maybe I'll just wait. I'll vote in absentee, and we'll see how things are looking for November. So if you change your mind, just send me an application. You don't need an application. You can send me a letter stating that you want a ballot for November 3rd, 2020. Be sure you sign it. If you're doing a letter for husband and wife, then you both need to sign. I need to have your signature so that I can match it up with my records that I have here on file. Then I will send you a ballot. So those should be going out for sure around the first week of October.
Okay.
Okay.
And I hate to say this, even though
So don't say it. Just go ahead and say it. Just
people
ask your
should know
question.
this. You cannot vote twice. So
Oh,
what a
that's the
stress!
last question.
What a stress that in case people are watching this video. So
no, you cannot.
it is a felony.
All right. Does anyone have anything else for the good of the cause? Since I jinxed our meeting, I'm told by many people that
Bruce was right.
A short meeting.
it still is.
It is.
If we let it go right now, we're still within the hour. We start at 6:04. So.
Yep.
But then I will talk to you guys in 2 weeks. I hope that you all have a good rest of your week.
Public comment.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I forgot.
Oh, he's got audio. He's got an audio issue.
Yeah,
Scott?
we can't hear you, Scott. We do have public comment. Do we have anyone that's asking for public comment?
Okay, now Scott has an audio issue like me, so.
Any public comments?
I see Lillian, did you want to make any comment? I'm allowing you to talk.
Yes, I want to say, Rami, it's really unfortunate that he's gone. He was a really good representative. When I did come up with a situation, he came to try and help me, but he couldn't. And the question was regarding the code enforcement. If a business has dumped materials, I didn't see anywhere that there's a statute of limitation. So is there a statute of limitation? Because I have an ongoing situation with Dr. Bonzel off of 12 Mile and Southfield Road. He even recently did asphalt work on his property, and his workers left materials on the wall that's adjacent to my property. And I contacted him regarding taking that away. His response was, that's not his problem. I needed to contact the supplier that he had hired. So, and that's been an ongoing, I have pictures from when he redid the wall, and I'm trying to find them electronically because I've been in conversation with him about the debris and things that have been left over the years. It's not something that I focus on a regular basis, but I moved here 2015 in December, and there's asphalt and concrete in my backyard that didn't mysteriously fall from the sky. And Rami did try and talk to the doctor, and the doctor had all these different excuses. But the question is, regarding code enforcement, what support does residents have versus the businesses here? This guy, if you've ever talked to him, you probably find he's it's a very challenging communication. I've reached out to the state. The state was saying, well, the city should be able to help you. Ken Martin, the guy who was here, I think before Rami, I came and asked him for help. His solution was put pieces of the asphalt in the garbage can a little bit at a time. That's not an answer, and I end up paying $150 to get some of it removed. I'm trying to get a copy of that receipt so that I can have proof and put this together to go to the state to get some support. But I'm looking for support for any resident, if you're dealing with a business behind you, getting help for getting their contamination out of our backyards.
Lillian, if I could ask you to contact me with the details in regards to this. Are you ready to take my telephone number?
Sure, I'm ready.
248-70, I'm sorry, that's my personal, 248-520-0620.
Okay.
And if you want to email any documents, the email is smitchell, MITCHELL, @lathrupvillage.org.
Okay.
Yeah, and just know that since Rami left, we still do have code enforcement services, so it's not like they disappeared. So
I appreciate that. And then I did want to say the election in August went great. It was organized really well, so you guys really don't have anything to worry about. The design that Yvette had was really nice. No one had to really wait or anything. It was a good experience, I would say, because I was one of the volunteers. But so she has it really together. And I wanted to say one last thing was regarding Susie for the business events. I know we're limited by outdoor space, but consider Zoom as an option where you can feature some of those businesses and people could participate and maybe make purchases. And that's all I had.
Thank you. I appreciate that we've also been kind of, we like to call it a little R&D, rip off and duplicate, to see what kind of online formats some of the other artisan fairs have done or are planning to do. I don't know if you've ever heard of the Detroit Urban Craft Fair. They're pretty large. And they are, one of the things that they're doing is to allow merchants to kind of take over their social media. So that's something that we're considering. But Zoom is really awesome too. So thank you for that suggestion, Lillian. I appreciate it.
Thank you. everyone have a great evening.
All right.
Thank you, Lillian. Appreciate
Thanks
it.
so much.
All right.
Hey, you know, Lillian just brought up an interesting for the election. So Cheryl, I wanted to just in passing say, don't we have some sort of contest going on where regarding turnout? I saw an email regarding all the other cities that, you know, I guess there's a funding thing going on regarding turnout. Did you see that?
For the election?
Yeah, I received an email saying that, you know, I guess they're monitoring the turnout per city, and those who have either have the highest turnout can qualify for certain prizes. Like the city.
I think.
What was that?
I think it was from Nate Cohn. Is that the name?
Nate Cohn. Yeah, Nate Cohn. Yeah, you should check it out. Don't let me slow this down, but check it out and yeah.
Well, since we're doing this, and I want to remind everyone that they should respond to the census before the end of the month.
Yep.
We're at 98.4%. I just looked while we were online.
And we do have a battle going on with the city of Berkeley, and we are ahead of them. They started ahead of us, and now we're ahead of them, and we're trying to.
98.4 response. That's great.
Nice.
That's great.
Is there any other comments?
No.
Any last thing?
It's Murdoch.
Flores. Did you want to say anything, Ms. Flores?
Can I just ask a quick question? Were you talking? Was someone else talking? I'm sorry, I had to.
That was for Miss Flores.
Okay, Ms. Flores, were you?
I think she's mute.
Uh-oh.
Probably have to hit the mute button.
So perhaps she didn't want to say anything.
Okay.
I just wanted to just drop just a thought, and this Oakland County the health department has issued, you know, to try and not do outdoor activities after dark because of this mosquito.
West Nile virus.
Yes. So I wanted to mention it because I know Dr. Green sent something around to her students and to the principals. And so I thought it would be just worthwhile mentioning to try to avoid after dusk. He said after dusk activities because of the mosquito issues with them. So wanted to just mention that.
Thank you. Anyone
You're
else
welcome.
have anything? No comments in the chat. I checked. So I hope everyone has a good night. Of course, you have any questions or anything, send them to Cheryl. She loves to get a lot of emails from you. Just kidding. But no, seriously, about the code enforcement, please put it in click fix until we at least get enough people on staff that can help with Cheryl to her load.